If I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna talk that law. So for those who may not know, I am a Texas trial attorney going on my 5th year. And behind me on the wall is my law license signed by the 9 justices of the Supreme Court, as well as the Chief Justice, as well as the clerk of court. The clerk got the biggest signature on that license. Shout out to the clerk. But in any event, I am a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer. I'm only here to talk that law. So let's talk about Fani. Fani. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So some people been asking me to do a video about this, and I've done like a few videos on TikTok, and this is my first one on YouTube. So I decided to do it live. And it may not be nobody on here but me and 10 people, but guess what? I'm a lawyer and we like to hear ourselves talk. So I'll just talk if I'm here by myself. Now, people may watch it later on. And if you do, welcome, welcome. And I'm not politically correct. So please, please, please don't come over here. Oh my God, he's a lawyer. How is he talking like that? He ought to be ashamed of himself. No, 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 no. Wrong channel, wrong channel. I'm just giving my thoughts and opinion on the subject matter at hand. So let's see what we got. I'm gonna pull up. This is my first stream, so I'm gonna see if I can pull up some of the images so we can know who our players are. You know, when you're telling the story, you gotta know who the main characters are. So let's see. Who we talking about today? Now y'all know who she is. Y'all know who she is. The one and only district attorney of Fulton County, Georgia. Now, a district attorney is normally a local prosecutor. And the prosecutor for that county handles the cases in that county. They don't go outside of that county. They can't take over a county that's next to them or take over a case for a different state or for the federal government. They only handle the cases in that state inside of that county. So in that role, they are the chief law enforcement officer of that county. They make all of the decisions. If they want a case to go to the grand jury, it's their decision. If they want a case to go away, guess what? It's their decision. And some people think that judges are the most powerful people in the courtroom. And some judges have power, but the district attorney, some would argue, have more power than even the judge, simply because they decide what cases the judge even gets to hear. So if the prosecutor doesn't file the charge, then the judge never even gets to hear the case. So that is a lot of power. So in this particular case, we have the district attorney, Fani Willis. She decided to prosecute a former president of the United States. Not only is he a former president of the United States, but guess what? He could be a potential future president of the United States. So she's prosecuting him based on a phone call he made, and she's charging him with allegedly trying to steal the 2020 election. Is that true? Who knows? That's up to a jury to decide. But some people are saying she did it for political reasons. She wanted to take him down so she could potentially run for office in the future. Who knows if that's true or not? We don't know. It could be true. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But along the way, she decided to hire other prosecutors to help her out. Who are them other prosecutors? Let's take a look. Let's see. My. Who she have to help her? That's right. A man by the name of Nathan Wade. Now, Nathan Wade, she brought him on as a special prosecutor. He doesn't work at the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. She brought him on as a helper. And some say he's not qualified. Yes, he's a lawyer, but it's been reported that he's never done a felony trial before. And if that's true, I'm going on my 5th year and I've done several felony trials. So you can argue that I have more trial experience than Mr. Wade. But you got to give it to her, though. When they had this press conference, nobody knew that they had a relationship going on. But as you can see, she's standing by her man. Now, normally having a dating relationship wouldn't be a problem, but you're prosecuting a former president of the United States. So now it's a very big problem. I mean, people are going to talk about this. They're going to look into your background. You're charging Trump, the former president, with supposedly violating public trust by trying to steal an election. So, if you're talking about public trust, then people are going to look into your background, and it won't be a public trust background, but it'll be the public's opinion of your background, especially if y'all are dating. And not only is she dating Mr. Wade, but Mr. Wade is a married man. No, ma'am. No, sir. Oh, man. That's what they say. And y'all didn't hear this from me. But, yep. She was with a married man. And she hired him. But the very next day that she hired him to help her prosecute the former president, she, quote unquote, made him file for divorce. So he had to file for divorce from his wife the very next day. And, he made the argument like, hey, we're already going to get a divorce. We've been broke up since 2015. But the very next day after she hired you, that's when you filed for it. Some people say that she made him do it. Who knows why? But so they team up, they're going after the president, but someone else comes along that mess up all their good plans. And let's see if we can find who that other person that came along. That's right. Ashley. I get when she walked past me. Ashley. Now, this is a lawyer. She's not Trump's lawyer, but the district attorney charged 19 people. It wasn't just Trump by himself. It was 19 total. And she's the lawyer for one of the other 19 people that were charged. But most of the time, when you have a group of lawyers and all of the clients are charged, they work together, as a team, because they all want the same goal, is for all of their clients to be found not guilty. So it's not uncommon for them to team up. But Ashley did some digging. Ashley, she's like, something ain't right. So she started doing her homework to see who is Nathan Wade to Fani Willis. And when she was doing her homework, she came back with the tea. And yes, it was hot. Let's see. Hit this button. And I'm going to get this down. Y'all got to work with me. All right. So press that. Oh, before I move on, these are the people that were indicted by Fani Willis in her office. So as you can see, it's a mixture of all different type of people. And Ashley, shout out to Ashley. Ashley represents one of these people here. And more than likely, all of these people, attorneys, are going to team up to try to win their case. But the issue is, it's not just about winning the case. The argument is being made now that the case should have never been brought in the first place. They are saying, and they meaning Trump and his attorneys and the team of attorneys, are saying that she has a conflict of interest. It's alleged that she hired her boyfriend, Nathan Wade, who we already saw. She hired him to help her prosecute the former president with the intentions on gaining a monetary benefit. And you're like, what does that mean? So basically, if you break it down, it's alleged that she hired her quote unquote boyfriend so her boyfriend can get paid $700,000. And in return, he gives some of that money, some of that $700,000 back to her. Now, if that's not crazy, I don't know what is. And it's been proven that they have taken multiple trips together, multiple cruises. And the lawyers are arguing like, hey, she's prosecuting the former president and his co-defendants only to get a kickback of some of the funds. Is that true? Who knows? But I can tell you one thing, it doesn't look good. And not only does it not look good, see, the law is specific when it comes to improprieties. Not only does it have to be an impropriety or a bad thing, the appearance of an impropriety. So even if it looks bad, can be enough for the district attorney and her office to be disqualified. And being disqualified is basically where the judge can say, hey, Fani, you and anybody connected to you, including your married boyfriend and anybody else in that office, can no longer prosecute this case. So what does that mean? Does that mean the case go away completely? That's one option. Or can the judge assign the case to a neighboring county and let the neighboring county district attorney take over and continue to prosecute the case? So let's see who else we got in the lineup. The lineup of our characters. We know we had Ashley. And Ashley, she's bringing down the house. I'll tell you that. But she couldn't do it by herself. And this is where the man in the middle came in. Who is this guy? His name is Terrence Bradley. And Terrence used to be a law partner of the guy next to him, Nathan Wade. They used to work together. They used to practice law together. So I'm assuming if they're working together, they're very close, with each other. They're friends. But not only was he a law partner to Nathan Wade, he was also his divorce attorney. And you might be wondering, how does he fit in? Well, he is alleged to have been going back and giving information, inside information, to Miss Ashley. Going back and telling Ashley everything. And you might say, what's the big deal? Him and Ashley, they're friends. They know each other. Terrence can go and talk to Ashley. The issue is Terrence was representing Nathan as his divorce attorney. And there's a thing called attorney-client privilege. You can't do that. You can't go and tell your clients confidential information to literally a stranger on the street. Now, it's been reported that him and Ashley know each other, but still, you cannot breach the attorney-client privilege without Mr. Nathan Wade giving consent. So Ashley was getting all this information from Terrence, the man in the middle. She was getting all the information. And what she do? She used it. This is like one of the biggest cases, I'm assuming, in her career. So it's nothing for her to throw him under the bus. I mean, because her number one goal is to win. I mean, this is a big case. So if you're going to lose a friendship, and she's willing to do that. She's willing to lose that friendship, to win this case. But I blame Nathan for not being more forceful to Terrence. Like, hey, Terrence, don't be going around telling my business to nobody because you're my attorney or you was my attorney. And if you telling my business, that's a breach of confidentiality. And I will report you to the state bar. Now, likely, Terrence is probably going before the state bar. And he's going to have a lot of explaining to do as to why he should not lose his law license. And he's going to have a tough argument because the evidence is in text messages. And I might have some of those text messages. Let me see. But if they can show that he deliberately was telling information to an outsider, he's going to be in some serious trouble. Let me see if I can find some of those text messages for y'all. And while I'm looking for that, when Ashley was talking to Terrence, she was on a fishing expedition. And I'm trying to get into the mind of Terrence. Like, hey, Terrence, if you're giving all this information to Ashley, and Ashley is telling you what she's using it for, she's using it for court filings, there's a chance that, Terrence, you can get subpoenaed. I mean, that should have crossed his mind. Like, hey, eventually somebody's going to want to know how Ashley know all this stuff. And he should have known that his name would eventually leak out. And I guess he was comfortable enough to, take that chance. And now, when they had him on the stand, he was subpoenaed to court. They had him on the stand, and now he doesn't know anything. I don't know. I don't recall. I don't remember. He had all the buzzwords down, I'll tell you that. But that ain't gonna work when he goes before the bar. Let me see. Let's look at some of these text messages. Man. And I know I'm, about 19, 20 minutes in. Let me put this. Let me put this cash up here just in case y'all want to buy me a hamburger. I'm not monetized yet on YouTube, but I know y'all be asking me on TikTok. So before I get an email in the morning, hey, what's your cash at? Let me put it here if I know how to do this right. And it's only for those who want to. I mean, I don't really need a hamburger right now anyway, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. I done already ate for the night, but hey, a hamburger sure sound good. Let's see. Oh, look at there. Talk that law, Mr. Talk that law himself. Let me see. Okay, so let's get back to the business. Can y'all see that? So you got Ashley Merchant in the green, and you got Terrence No Good Bradley in the gray. And Ashley, she liked, I'm okay with it. Ashley said, it is my hope they do the right thing before then. Ashley, please, they're not gonna do no right thing. You never, I always tell lawyers this, especially the ones starting out, you never trust a DA. And I don't have nothing against DAs personally. I mostly do criminal defense and personal injury, but you just never trust your opposing counsel. I don't care what they tell you. They up to no good. But let's go back to it. Let's see if we can make this back bigger so we can actually read it. Okay. Come on, screen, get bigger. All right. There we go. And then Terrence responded back, you are my friend and I trust you. They will not. They are arrogant as F. She thinks she won the other day when she didn't have to be deposed. And Ashley said, that wasn't a win. Thompson set them up. Nathan can admit it all on the 31st. And if he doesn't, then Thompson will make Fani sit. He basically gave Nathan a chance to protect her. But if he doesn't tell all, then Fani will have to sit. Nathan's finances make it look like he owed a lot of money when he began this. Terrence. You messed up right there. You are my friend and I trust you. Boy, this is business. This is business. What was he thinking? Talking about you are my friend and I trust you. Oh man. He didn't know no better. Couldn't have. This is the biggest case of her career. Let's see what we got here. Let's see, we got some other text messages. And keep in mind, these text messages are from January, the end of January, January 24. And all of a sudden, last month in February, he get amnesia. He don't remember anything. No. Let's see. Let's take a look at this here. Let me share this so y'all can see. All right, press that. Share screen. Let's see. Ashley says, any idea who I can get an affidavit from on the affair? And Terrence said, no one would freely burn that bridge. Yeah, Terrence, nobody but you. what were you thinking? And Ashley says, okay. Then she said, if Chris was asked under oath, would he know? And Terrence says no. And you may be wondering, who is Chris? Chris is the third law partner that was working with Terrence Bradley and Nathan Wade. So all three of them had a law firm together. But Terrence said, hey, Chris don't know nothing about this, so keep him out of this. And Ashley says, wow, I figured he would. I didn't expect them to be so careful. And then Terrence admitted he knows, but he won't admit it. Oh, so he do know. Wow. Let me see if I can plug this thing up. We're gonna be sitting here and talking to ourselves after a while. If this computer go dead. Oh man. It took me forever to get this thing set up. I'm thinking I'm just gonna jump on YouTube and just get the show going. Nah, it ain't that easy for those who who want to do this. It takes some time. But so Nathan is in a relationship with Fani. They're hiding it. Then you got Ashley. She's trying to get dirt on Nathan so she can give it to the judge, so Fani and Nathan can get kicked off the case. I mean, that's pretty simple. But Ashley couldn't do it by herself. She needed somebody to get the dirt from. So she got it from Nathan's friend and former law partner and his former divorce attorney, Terrence Bradley. And it came an issue as to when they met. And Terrence said that they met a long time ago, but Fani and Nathan said, hey, we just started dating after Nathan was hired. And that's an issue, because if they were dating before, Trump was indicted, then it can be said that, they planned it. She planned to hire her boyfriend. But what they are saying, Fani and Nathan are saying, no, we weren't dating back then. We just started dating after I got the job. So there was no collusion. But now text messages and what's it called? Cellular data has been released to show that they have in fact been dating before Trump was indicted. So it does look like they planned this. Not only that, they both got on the stand and said that, hey, we were not dating before Trump was indicted. We only started dating after he was indicted, after Nathan came to the office. But if the cellular information is correct and they can put Nathan Wade at Fani's house at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, multiple times before this case happened, then they could potentially be liable for perjury if it could be proven that they lied under oath. And they both testified. The judge, after all this happened, all of this came out, the judge called everybody in and he put everybody under oath. And he said, hey, tell me what you know. Is this true? Were y'all going on trips together? Yes, we were going on trips. But Fani said, if we did go on a trip, I paid him back. And they're like, well, how you pay him back? She said, I paid him back in cash. No, man, not cash. She said she paid him back in cash. Oh, man. So, of course, there's no record of Nathan getting his money back. It just looks like Nathan just paid her a kickback to go on this trip. Is it true? Who knows? But it doesn't look good. And I think that's what the judge was hinting to in his questioning the last time I had a hearing, that, hey, it doesn't look good that you would go on trips and keep it a secret all this time, and you're getting money from the money that you're paying him. So it's like you're getting double paid. You're getting your normal salary, and then you're paying him $700,000. He doesn't have any experience to get that kind of money, and then he's spending that money back on you, Fani. So that doesn't look good at all. And somebody's gonna have to answer for that. And this is not her first time getting disqualified from a case. She was disqualified before. So the first time she was disqualified, you had two people. They were running for office. I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say you had person A running for mayor, person B running for mayor. Person A gets a target letter from the DA. A target letter is basically saying, hey, you're under investigation. More than likely, we're going to charge you with a crime. So person A is running against person B. Person A gets a target letter from Fani Willis, the DA. So not a big deal. If he committed a crime in her jurisdiction, she has the right to charge him, person A. But what you cannot do is then go over to person B's side, the person who person A is running against to be mayor, and then have a political fundraiser for person B. So now you're on person B's side, you're raising money for person B, and person B is running against person A. Not only that, but hey, person B may tell Fani, hey, I want to win this race, and I can't beat him at the ballot box, so I want you to put him in jail. And her office is prosecuting person A. It doesn't look good. The best thing she could have done, knowing that she was going after person A, is stay away from anything political. Don't go to his opponent. Don't try to help his opponent win that race. And definitely don't prosecute his opponent at the same time you're campaigning against them. It doesn't make sense. And the judge was like, what were you thinking? You cannot have it both ways. It just looks bad. And my father always told me, where there's smoke, there's fire. So even if she didn't intend it to be that way, it looks bad to the public. And this is the same situation where now it's alleged that Fani went to the White House, not the White House. And guess who they said she met with when she went to the White House? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all already know. Let's see if we can find it. Who did she meet with? They say she met with none other than VP Kamala. Shout out to Kamala. They saying that they met. Now Kamala saying, hey, it was a lot of people that I ain't meet that girl. Again, it doesn't look good. Let's say that they didn't meet. Fani shouldn't have been there in the first place, because they're saying that she went to the White House before she indicted Trump and the other co-defendants. So what does it look like now? She went to the White House. They're saying she secretly met with Kamala. I don't know. Maybe they're in the restroom. Who knows? Maybe they didn't meet at all, but it still doesn't look good. So if they met, next thing you know, she leaves the White House, she go back home, and now she's prosecuting Trump. It doesn't look good. Like, that's another, what were you thinking? I know we all, have done stuff, made mistakes. We can't be perfect lawyers, but this is just above and beyond that. I mean, this is a leap. I remember I was in court one day, and a lawyer was explaining to the judge why his client should be given a bond. He was like, "Yeah, my client, he's a good kid. He needs to get a bond. He doesn't have any criminal record." Yeah, he doesn't have any criminal record, but his first charge is a capital murder charge. So yeah, he doesn't have any criminal record, but still, his first offense, it doesn't look good. I mean, if he doesn't have a criminal record and he's accused of, jaywalking or something minor, that's a good argument. But if he's accused of something major, I mean, come on, you got to go with the optics, and it doesn't look good. So for Fani to be meeting with Kamala, and then she turns around and charge Trump, it can be said that they planned it. And why did they plan it? Because they wanted Kamala's partner, her running mate, to win the next election. Does it sound familiar? Does it sound like my mayor example? Prosecute one guy, put him in jail so he can't run against, the other guy to win the election. Now, this probably didn't happen. But in order to keep people from thinking it happened, Fani should have stayed as far away from the White House as she possibly could. I mean, just because, you don't want to be accused of nothing like that. Because it looks bad. So she went to the White House. They're saying that they didn't meet, but I mean, who knows? Since she was there, and now people can take that information and do what they want to do with it. They can run with it. So it's not a good look. Not to mention, Kamala was the DA, the same as Fani. She was a DA. I think she was the first elected African American woman in San Francisco, California. I think she was the first DA there. So, she had the job that Fani has now. So it doesn't look good. She tell Fani, hey, this is how you do it. This is how I did it in California. This is how you should do it over there in Georgia. And, you should take them down so we can win. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's not true. I mean, they did win before on the ballot. So, maybe they don't have to have secret meetings, but it just doesn't look good. And as a DA, especially being that she was already disqualified before because she was helping a political opponent. So imagine doing it again. I mean, she should have known that, hey, this is not going to look good. And you might say, hey, like my example about the guy with the capital murder. We all make mistakes, but this is a very big mistake to make. Yes, your first offense, your first charge. Yeah, it's probably your first or second mistake, but these are very big mistakes. You can't just say, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. Yeah, you did know because it happened before and you were disqualified. The judge in that case kicked you off the case in your office. And now the biggest case in your career, you're likely going to get kicked off again. And who knows, if she would have won this case, she probably had political ambition. She probably wanted to be governor of Georgia or, a senator from Georgia, or maybe her sights were higher, who knows? But now we would never know, all because she got in bed with a married man. And this is why I named the video "The Fall of Fani Willis," because I think that she really, caused this. This wasn't an outside attack that quote unquote brought her down. This happened on the inside. This was from within. And it reminds me of a story, one of the first stories I heard as a child. I say, what that story is? It go like this. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. And all the king horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. Fani Willis sat on the wall. Fani Willis had a great fall. All the king horses and all the king men couldn't put Fani Willis and Nathan Wade back together again. Oh man. Wow. I really hate that, for all parties, because she could have potentially been trying to do the right thing, right? She could have said, hey, something happened in my county, and I feel like it's my duty to, to right the wrong, so to speak. But then you got to think about Trump and the co-defendants. Because first of all, they're saying we're not guilty. We didn't do what we're accused of doing. But secondly, she's motivated by all the wrong reasons to prosecute us. She has a conflict of interest. And matter of fact, the conflict of interest is so strong and so talked about, most of us really forgot what Trump was charged with. I mean, let's just tell the truth. I think they said he made a phone call talking about finding votes. I mean, finding votes, to a defense attorney sounds like, hey, find my votes. Where are my votes? Compared to create the votes, create the votes and make up some votes. Now, okay, you have a stronger case. But if I'm telling you, hey, find my votes, I have more votes than this. I'm missing 300,000, but I only need 11,000. So find my 11,000 out of 300,000 I'm really supposed to have, so I can win the state. Is that a criminal offense? That's up to the jury to decide. But as a defense attorney, a trial attorney, the argument can be made. And I'm sure his lawyers, as well as Ashley, they're going to make some good arguments if this case ever goes to trial. And going to trial is hard work. It's not easy. My last trial probably was a couple of months ago. It was a felony trial, not guilty. And trial before that, felony trial, not guilty. So these cases, they take some time, but I'm sure there's a team of attorneys that's looking into, this quote unquote conflict. Let's see what else we got on here. So we know Terrence Bradley testified against his former law partner. Boy, he gonna be in some trouble for that one. But it was somebody else that I found interesting that testified. Now, this lady right here is Fani Willis's friend, former friend. And it's alleged that she was renting a house to Fani Willis. So she saw everything. She testified that Nathan and Fani was dating well before they said they were. And I don't know, it was one thing when Terrence, got on the stand and told, but it's another thing when another friend gets on the stand. This is a friend of Fani Willis. She got on the stand and told on Fani. And guess what? It's similar to Nathan's case. Fani and this lady here used to work together. Fani gave her a job in the district attorney's office, and it didn't work out, so she's no longer there. And some people might say, well, this lady here, she has an incentive to lie on Fani because her and Fani didn't get along. The job didn't work out. So now she's in here, telling a lie on Fani. But guess what? She didn't want to tell her anything about Fani. She fought the subpoena tooth and nail. She fought against having to testify. She was forced to come to court. And it seems as if Fani's lawyer, who was arguing for her in court, forgot that Fani's lawyer had said, hey, she's lying, she's not telling the truth. But the judge was like, well, if she wanted to make Fani look bad, or if she wanted to lie on her, why did she fight the subpoena? Why did she not want to come to court? If she had an incentive to lie on Fani, she wouldn't have fought the subpoena. She would have showed up to court freely and voluntarily to tell. So when something like that happens, and the person comes to court against their will, chances are they're likely would tell the truth. That doesn't mean always, but it's a high probability that this lady, is telling the truth. And Fani was in her house. I mean, she knows, who was coming in, tapping on the door at 3, 4 in the morning. She know. Look at her. She don't want to be, and she couldn't come in person, but guess what? They said, we're going to put you on Zoom. Right in the chair she would have been sitting on, they put the TV. Come on here. Boy, y'all play all day. And let's see what else. And not only that, Fani said, hey, not only was I paying Nathan back, I was paying him in cash. And she even brought in her father to say, hey, she keep cash in the house. Let me see if I can find her father. Yeah, she keep cash in the house. She not lying. I told her that you should always keep cash in the house. Let me see. Here you go. That's him. Smart man. He got to understand. And he said, like, hey, I always told my daughter that you should always keep, cash in the house. And he told a story about how he went on a trip one time and they would not take his checks. And he thought to himself that I need to always keep cash on me. And I think he said back in the day, not only did they use checks, they had something called traveler's checks. And he said the man on the trip wouldn't even take his traveler's check. So that's why he always told his daughter to keep cash. And I thought to myself, well, if the daddy used traveler's checks, Fani must be using traveler's cash. When she got on the stand and testified, they asked her, they said, do you keep money in your house? He said, I keep money wherever I lay my head. See, the lawyers didn't know the right question to ask her. I would have said, well, do you keep it at the hotel rooms? I mean, that's where you lay your head. Oh, my goodness, man. I mean, so she got a lot of explaining. She got a lot of explaining to do. And look, and Fani didn't even have to testify. Fani, she didn't even have to testify. The judge was, it seemed like he was going to say, hey, we heard enough from her boyfriend. And when he testified, we don't need her to come in here. She busted in the door. Somebody said with her dress on backwards. And she put herself in the hot seat. So not only can she get kicked off the case, if they have evidence to prove that she lied, that can be, she could have opened herself up to possible perjury charges, criminal charges herself, and she can likely lose her license as well. So, I mean, that's a lot, especially when you didn't have to testify. I always tell my clients, follow the advice of your attorneys. And one of her attorneys was there, and her attorney had told her, was fighting hard not for her to testify. And her attorney looked shocked when she seen her come through that door. And her attorney was not happy. And I think now that attorney really has backed off. I think her name was Anna Cross. Now her attorney then disappeared. Her attorney like, man, you got a hard head. You don't want to listen. You think I'm finna sit here and go down with you? And some even say that her attorney know that she lying, and her attorney don't want to get caught up with it. So her attorney backed away for that reason. Now that could be speculation. We don't know. But if that's true, she gonna be in some trouble because now the Senate, the Georgia Senate, is investigating, and they have already started subpoenaing witnesses. And the Senate, it's not like a courtroom. They gonna get to the bottom of it. There ain't gonna be no objections and stuff that can't come in the courtroom. But in the Senate, you can have like just a basic conversation like we're having. We're just talking. So that means everything can come out. And the one who's going to make that decision, I mean, ultimately is going to be Judge Scott McAfee. And he's got to make the decision. Did she cross the line? Or maybe, she went up to the line, but she didn't cross it. I don't know. I mean, it's a tough decision, but it seems like the answer is clear. I mean, they have to, even if you don't drop the charges completely, they have to be removed. I mean, because if she stay on the case, now anything she does on that case is going to look like it's retaliation for all of this drama. So if let's say she's seeking a maximum punishment, they're going to say, okay, well, she's only seeking a maximum punishment because we brought up her conflict of interest. We aired her dirty laundry to the public, so now she's mad. Or she say, hey, I want to revoke some of their bonds. Some of them need to be locked up. They're going to say, well, why are you revoking their bonds? And the argument could be made. She's revoking it because she's upset because all of this is going on now. So the best course of action, for the judge to, at the very least, kick her off the case. Not only her, but her whole team, right? I mean, it wouldn't make no sense to kick her off the case when she's the boss of everybody else that's going to stay on the case, and she can just tell them what to do. So the best way is to kick them all off the case and start over from scratch. Now, when that happens, I don't know if the judge will retain the case. That means bring in new prosecutors into his court, or he just moved the whole case over to a different court, a different county, a different DA. But I mean, who knows? And that's political too, because this is a big case for him. Do he want to, give away his golden egg? And I'm not saying that's the way he's thinking, but or is there a way he can keep the case? Because he seems like a fair judge. I mean, I've seen a lot of different judges, online, and some of them don't have a clue. But he actually has his stuff together. So, he might keep the case and bring in the other DAs so he can preside over a fair trial. And, if I was a defense attorney, I would actually want a judge to know the law. I don't want to get transferred to a county where a judge that is not as qualified as this judge. And he's young. I think they say he's 33, 34, but he's on it. He's smart. I mean, you're not going to just get anything past this judge. Some people have said that he's been giving Fani too much leeway. I don't think so. When she was testifying, you got to understand, she's the elected district attorney. So in our system of government, we have, three branches of government. You got the legislative, judicial, and the executive. She's the executive branch. She's the person that enforced the law. So in the federal government, the executive branch would be the president. So you have Congress, the legislative, Supreme Court, judicial, and the president of the executive. In the state level, you have the state legislatures. Then you have the courts, which is the judicial branch, likely the Supreme Court, the head court. And then you have the executive, which is the enforcers, which is the district attorneys. So it's uncommon for an executive branch to have to sit in court and testify under a different branch of government. That's almost like the president getting summoned to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court sit him down in a chair and ask him a lot of questions. I mean, it's separation of powers for a reason. I mean, it's like unheard of for this, Supreme Court to pull a president in and make him answer to them. So I can see why the judge was giving Fani a lot of leeway. He was giving her a lot of leeway because he knows, hey, this is a whole different branch of government. Now, Fani's issue is, from my understanding, Trump and his team, they got long memories. And if they got long memories, he might be president again one day. And, she took a swing at the king. They say if you take a swing at the king, you better not miss, or a shot at the king, you better not miss. Because if you miss and, now he's president again, who is to say that, his department won't come after you, Fani, for a potential number of crimes. I mean, it was alleged that she was getting federal money to investigate, Trump and his team. So if you're getting federal funds and you're doing something with that money you're not supposed to, or you're getting money back from your boyfriend on the side, they can, possibly try to look into some charges that way to get back at her. So you got to be real careful, when you're trying to go after people, especially if you're not doing it the right way. Now, if she's doing it the right way and she's just doing her job, hey, that's your job, do your job. But, if you're taking trips and you're getting some of the money back, and then you're making speeches outside of court, which can potentially influence some of the jury pool, then that might be a bit too much, and that could be something that pushes this over the line. So that's where we're at with this case. I know it's almost going on an hour, so I just wanted to give a summation of where we're at, where the case is at. So this week, the judge should be making a determination. So we're looking forward to seeing if the judge is going to kick her out. The judge may say, hey, she can stay on. Yes, she did this. Yes, she did that. But I don't think it rises to the level of her having to be disqualified. But I don't know. It's going to be a close call. I think in order to keep the peace and keep the confusion down, and to make sure that the defendants are represented fairly and they get a fair trial, just get a new DA's office. And if you are that concerned with justice and you want to, do the right thing, you shouldn't be mad if another DA's office pick up the case. As long as justice is served, so to speak, you shouldn't be mad, if the neighboring county gets the case. As long as, the justice served, then everybody go home and win. But I think she wanted the case for herself. I mean, I'm sure she probably did a lot of work on it, and she probably campaigned on, hey, when I get in the office, this is what I'm going to do. Who knows? But now all of that is out the window, just because she got in bed with a married man. And then when I seen her in court the last time, she had like 2 big security guards with her. And they both had bald heads like Nathan. I mean, maybe she liked bald heads. I'm trying to figure out why she just didn't jump on one of their laps. If that was her goal, but not the lap of the man that you need on your team to help you take down a former, president. I mean, it's insanity. Let me see if I can find. Let me see. I think she had her security guards with her. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. And those security guards look like some pretty good sized dudes. Let me see if the internet's gonna play right today. Let me see something. Hold on. Where we at? Where is that? Okay, let's see if we can find it. And she was ready for y'all this time. Y'all talked about her pink dress. She said, no, 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 no. Y'all don't talk about my pink dress. She came back for y'all with a red one. And she said, I bet you this one won't be on backwards. This one not going to be on backwards. I guarantee you that. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see if I can get it. I think I found the video. Let's see. I'll tell you, after her lawyer got done, she jumped up out that chair so quick. Let me see. I don't think we need the sound for this. Let's just see. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Let's see if we can get her walking out with her security guard.
Thank you, Mr. Body.
Woohoo! Y'all see him? Let's go back. The service might be a little slow. Let's see.
Thank you, Mr. Body.
Yeah. She got out of there quick because she didn't want to hear the other side arguments. She just wanted to hear her lawyer. And her lawyer, he probably had the knowledge, but he's terrible. Oh my goodness, terrible. I think he put most people to sleep. Because sometimes you can know stuff, but you can't teach it or you can't tell it. You can't present it to the public. So I know she probably cussed them out when they got back to the office. Cussed them out real good. Now the other lawyers, they did good. They good. They had their stuff together. They was organized and they was concise. But her lawyer, what's going on with the lawyers in Georgia? I know a few of them and they good, but the ones that I'm seeing, Fani, Nathan, Terrence, going back and snitching on your friends. Come on now. Come on. No, sir. That's what we're not going to do. We're not going to play that. But yeah, I don't know what she found that lawyer at. But out of all the lawyers, she should have chosen. She should have argued herself instead of choosing the best one. She should have got up there with that red dress on. She should have got up there and made her arguments of why, hey, judge, this is why I should stay on the case. This is why I'm not going nowhere. This is my case, and I'm coming back to take it. All right, I ain't gonna hold y'all that much longer. So what they be saying, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that. Cause I might come back. I might do some more of these videos. And I'm just starting out. I ain't got no subscribers. Where y'all at? Come on. But yeah, but as I grow, I think I'm gonna do some more of this. I actually like giving my take and my opinion. But before I go, I'm gonna remind y'all again, because I don't want y'all to be confused. I'm a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer. I'm only here to talk their law.